Pleased to be joined now by Grandview head men's soccer coach Blair Reid. The Vikings once again are headed to the NAIA National Tournament following the win Thursday night in the MCC Championship game over Mount Mercy by a score of 3-1. Blair, congratulations once again, headed to Nationals.
Thanks, Jeff. It's a good feeling, and we're looking forward to finding out who we play on Monday. And but up until that point, we'll practice best we can and get ourselves ready.
Tell us about the contest with Mount Mercy for the championship game. Got out to a 1-0 lead, and Mount Mercy tied it, I believe, in like the 43rd minute, but you were managed to get a couple of more goals and put the thing away.
It was a typical championship match, both teams wanting to go to the national tournament, and good atmosphere, good hard-fought game. As you know, we tied Mount Mercy during the regular season 0-0 double overtime, so we knew it was going to be a tough game. But yes, we went up. First goal was scored, I believe, by Brian Lee. I think Noel Medina got the assist on that, and then they tied it up, and I believe, I'm not quite sure, but I believe we got the lead back in about the 43rd or 44th minute on a goal by Noel, and it was 2-1 at half, and went back and forth, and then in the second half we got a nice goal, our third goal, freshman Andrew McClevey from Congleton, England, on a beautiful assist by Austin Kelly, who's from Ottumwa. And when that third goal went in, that pretty much sealed the deal right there.
Yeah, there's nothing more exciting, I think, in soccer when you talk about scoring a goal on a header. I mean, that was pretty fun to watch.
It is. It's a thing of beauty. And even our practice sessions, we count, when we play small-sided games, we kind of have a little bit of fun, and we count, if you score by header, it's 2 points, because it's always a nice thing to see. So it was good. And Andrew's good in the air, and he's come close a couple of times, so it was really, really good for him to put that goal in. I felt real proud of him.
Well, let's talk about the season as a whole, Blair. 9-7-1, 9-7-2 actually, following the win over Mount Mercy. And you played a lot of close games this year, a lot of close matches. All 7 of your losses were decided by 1 goal.
That's correct. And it's one of those seasons that, had it gone the other way, 9-7-2 would probably look a little bit better. But we're pretty happy where we're at. We incurred several injuries during preseason and right before our first game, which also continued throughout the season. To make a long story short, out of our 5 starting midfielders, we lost 4 at the beginning of the season, or the beginning of the regular season, with only Adamson being the only healthy midfielder. So I think being in every game, making it a close contest I felt happy, because the guys that we had playing at the time were going to be guys probably coming in for not so many minutes at this part of the season, but were called into action, and they stepped up and they did a good job. So we're always disappointed to lose a match, but I've been happy and proud of the way the guys have stepped up, and we've been in every contest, and we've played some good teams.
Tell us about the games this year, your matches this year. You mentioned all the losses by 1 goal, but 4 against 4 ranked teams. First, to start out, the match with Lindsey Wilson, who's currently the #1 team right now in the nation. You played him down in St. Louis, and you had them on the ropes, as you put it.
We did. Lindsey tied it up in the 83rd minute on a free kick, and up until that point, we were right in it. And to be clear, we should have been probably up 2-0 at half. Possibly 3, but we missed a couple of opportunities. But that was one of those games where I felt, going through all the challenges we had throughout the season, this was a big game against a #1 opponent and national champs from last year. Our boys played well, and I could just kind of see our guys getting together, starting to play like the team that we had envisioned. And it was a good match. And,
they were #2 at the time.
Yes. Yep.
And how about the loss against 14th rated Hastings 1-0?
You know, Hastings lost in the in the finals of the national tournament last year, and in 2010 we're the national champs. So down at Hastings, tough venue to play. Again, it was one of those things where we missed a couple opportunities. They put one in on us, and we fought like heck. Again, being down probably our 5 or 6 starters, it was a learning curve for everybody involved. But again, it was one of those things you go, dadgummit, it's you hate to lose, but against a quality opponent on their home turf, we were right in the game.
Let's recognize some of your individual players now, Blair. Aaron Scott is your points leader right now, heading into the championship game. 9 goals, 5 assists. Noel Medina, you mentioned, 7 goals and 4 assists. Talk about those two gentlemen.
Both these boys have done a great job. Scotty, a new transfer from McKendree University. He actually was redshirted at McKendree last year, so he hasn't really played American soccer at the collegiate level, but a talented young man. Took him a while to get going, but once he got into our system, Scotty's one of those guys that he kind of has that knack, that ability to anticipate where the ball is going to pop out inside the 18 or just outside the 18, and he can finish them. And Noel, I couldn't be more pleased with his development as a player. As a senior, he led the conference in scoring. He's a first-team all-conference selection, I understand. It was just announced today. His game has improved immensely, and probably the thing I like about Noel is that he's worked hard this season and he's gained the rewards because of that hard work. So,
how about Danny Mullins, 7 goals, 3 assists, and Ryan Adamson?
Oh, you know, Muldog, we call Danny Mullins Muldog. Another good year. Has been one of those guys each season has gotten better and better. Stepped into the starting lineup this year and delivered for us. I believe he got the game winner against AIB. His was the first goal. Ryan Adamson, apparently Conference Player of the Year, was announced today. I don't want to say he's a freak in nature, but he's a very fit player. He's explosive, he's strong, and he's a typical old-fashioned winger, get down the line, get crosses in, beat players, and well-deserved of the accolade. I know, talking to our conference coaches, they're very happy that this is his last year. And the funny thing was, you know, Rizzo, we call Adamson Rizzo, he didn't play those last 2 games for us because of a card suspension. So that even makes us feel even more proud of these guys winning the conference championship without the Conference Player of the Year.
How about your goalie play this year? Connor Thomas, 5 shutouts on the season,
Yep.
0.84 goals against average.
Connor, again, you know, senior keeper, came in as a transfer last year. Split a little bit, split time with Alex Frank last year, but Connor made the job his own this year. And his game, probably after the 6th game of the year, just took off. The confidence that he brings to our team because of his playing ability and his presence in the goal can't be understated. Probably his best attribute is his ability to control the ball with his feet. Whenever we need an outlet under pressure, we can pass it back to him. He's calm on the ball, he can distribute it, he can clear it, and couldn't be more proud. But I also like to mention, last night he got injured. He got knocked out, got stitches in his lip, concussion, and the young man on the bench, Eric Hundavad, with 20 minutes to go, stepped in and held the fort, did a magnificent job. And that's the sort of quality that we have. As somebody goes down, our next guy in does the job as well.
Well, this is a program that's made it to the last 2 Elite Eights in the NAIA tournament. You made a nice run last year and one the year before, but this year you've mentioned about the injury issues that you've had, and you've still managed to hold things together. You win a conference tournament championship. I think that means well for you down the line. Or you're not finished yet this year, but for next year, it's the experience of your second team, third team guys is going to help you in the future.
That's a great point. And out of the injuries, we have 3 of those guys back who are seniors, are all going to redshirt and come back, and that just makes us a little bit better team. But you're absolutely right. And again, I can't be more proud the team, and I have to mention our coaching staff too. They did a great job working throughout the season, changing things, developing players a little bit quicker that we wanted to use than we needed at the time. But so, yeah, I couldn't be prouder. And we kind of knew that we had the ability to make the national tournament. We did it, and I still think we can get into that final 16 and go from there. But a lot's yet to be determined, and we'll go from yesterday's game.
Obviously, with a philosophy you have, goals, the Vikings had 42 goals to opponents' 20. Shots almost 2-1. What's your philosophy about getting more goals, getting more shots than you're allowing?
Well, you know what? We love to play attacking type soccer. We've got type of players that like to get the ball, possess it, keep passing and moving, and get down the opponent's end. But at the same time, you can, if you score 5 but give up 6, you're going to lose. And so there's also an emphasis on team defense. So as many attacking type players that we have, everybody has to help out on team defense, has a role to play, specific jobs to do. And the boys take really a lot of pride in keeping a clean sheet. And I think most coaches will agree that when you win championships, it's because you play good defense. And it's no different in soccer.
Now, the last 2 years, Grandview has hosted that first-round game in the national tournament. Not likely to happen this year, but you know, crazier things have happened. But I know you're not banking on it this year.
Not really. If the gods were good to us, I mean, the crazy upsets happen. There could be an outside possibility, but it's not really going to happen. But yes, it's been an honor to host these last 2 national tournament first rounds, and we'll be on the road this year, and we will see come Monday who we play and where we go.
I know it's all speculation at this point. We're recording this on Friday. The pairings come out on Monday, as Blair mentioned. Any idea where you might go?
Well, I told our athletic director, Plummer, that we're heading to Florida or California, and we probably need to leave 5 days early. But he said we need to wait till Monday. But well, that's a hard one to speculate. The NAIA, as much as they like to try and match our RPI's ratings and do it strictly through that, they also throw in the geographic component. So they don't want to send a team from Florida to California when it doesn't have to happen. Mm-hmm. So I've got a feeling, my gut's telling me we could possibly be staying in the Midwest, possibly. We could be maybe the GPAC representative, or maybe to the Chicagoland Conference, or maybe Heart of American Missouri. We don't know. But sometimes being that team in the middle of the country, sometimes they might send you to California, as our women had to do 3 or 4 years ago, or they might send you to Florida. So it's really up in the air. There's so many conference tournaments wrapping up today and definitely on Saturday. And I think once we find the winners and see those final RPAs, we might be able to calculate before the national office comes out with the official ones. But you never know what they're going to do down in Kansas City.
Now, 31 teams make the national tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the host school gets a bye, so you have 30 teams in that first round, 15 first-round games. Mm-hmm. And then the winners of all those games, they go to the Gulf Shores in Alabama for the national tournament. You've been there the last 2 years. What's that ride like? Iowa to Alabama, that's got to be a long trip.
It is, but you know what? It's very enjoyable. It's a reward for the team for hard work, and the boys really enjoy it. And the atmosphere down there is wonderful. All the teams stay on a very nice resort on the beach, and the facilities are magnificent. You can get a quarter out, roll it on the field, and watch that quarter just roll. They're just beautiful facilities. Now this year, we're still heading to Alabama if we're fortunate enough to win our first round, but we are now playing in Montgomery for the men, but the women's national championship will be played at Gulf Shores. Okay. And I'm envious because it's a great place to be.
Well, Blair, appreciate your time. Congratulations on the win to get into the national tournament, and hopefully you'll get a game and get back to Alabama.
Thank you, Jeff, and thanks for having me. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Grandview men's soccer coach Blair Reid.